paying $5 to get Phil my coffee in about 2 minutes. Maybe I'll do it when they start reading names.
Oh. Oh, we don't announce that about the gift exchange. Oh, that's all just for the. Yeah. I know. That's the way to do it. Just make sure the staff eats first. That's okay. Yeah, that's what we were just talking about.
I don't think so. I
Yeah,
don't think
yeah.
so.
Yeah.
Hey.
And then that's exactly what we'll do it. And then I'm just going to ask everybody to do it.
There's some good ones out there, you know, it's like, man, so all those nasty ones, they were so mean to me. But fine. I didn't know any better. I was
Remember Sarah wrote the glowing email, and you're like, you read this email entire right now. It was Natalie. I met her yesterday. Came back from Gainesville.
you missed your chance.
And I think Sarah and I
They took it.
It got real quiet all of a sudden, didn't it?
I think I was like, I think I was just coughing and people thought it was me clearing my throat for us to start. You probably could start.
Yeah. What is it, 9:50?
55.
9:55.
I feel like this is like poking my chin. Is it?
It's
Do what?
all right,
Can you
all
still hear
right,
me?
all right. Good morning, everybody.
That
Good
still
morning,
sound
good
great.
morning, good morning, good morning. Everybody's full of all kinds of Christmas cookies and sugar and sweets, and man, I know I put a couple of pounds on already.
I could tell.
We were at Gainesville yesterday, and it's nice to get back to the smaller parties because you get food made from different parts of the world. You know, people bring foods from all over, so it's kind of neat going to. Alexandria had a great one the other day, and they had all kinds of exotic food in there. And then yesterday, Gainesville and Lake Ridge had theirs. They had some exotic food in there. Good stuff, good stuff. And again, I want to thank you guys, Audrey and Lisa and Madonna and your crew, Margaret and all them, for putting on these great parties. I mean, that was a lot of fun. That was really and
See,
of
now
course,
when you go down this road, you get.
Yeah, I know. I need to be thanking I know.
Because Laura helped with Gainesville, and then you've got the National Harbor and Fredericksburg, and we've been a lot of places.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody, for doing that. Laura, I love your new gift, and it's just it's you. It's perfect. I love it. I can't believe nobody stole it from you yesterday. Oh, that's what you stole it. They couldn't. I love it. They're great parties. They're great gift exchanges. I don't know if any of you saw Bobby's beautiful picture in his new lingerie that he got down at Fredericksburg. They got Bobby's lingerie.
We maybe should have had that ready for the
That
meeting.
would have been a great one to have up there.
That's
He
your
tried
job.
it on over his clothes, thankfully. But
Janice Pearson's Facebook.
was
I
a
think
lot
she
of
has
fun.
several of them.
Yeah, that was Fredericksburg. So great parties. Thank you to all you guys, Laura. Thank you, everybody, for putting these on for everybody. I really appreciate it. I know it takes a lot of your time and effort and energy, and it means a lot to me that you guys do that. So thank you. Everyone who put on the parties out there, I can't thank you enough. And then I think we got Tyson's tomorrow or something.
Friday.
Tyson's Friday. Yeah, Tyson's is Friday. All right, good, good. Thank you all so much. Thank you. Keeping the spirit alive with all these great parties through December. So, all right, what have we done? Let's see. Right away, I guess in the last 2 weeks, you guys, God, in 2 weeks, in the middle of December, you guys have put on 99 new listings in the last 2 weeks. 2 weeks, that's fantastic in the middle of December. That's incredible. Great job, everybody. Congratulations. Great job. All right, let's welcome some new family members. In the last 2 weeks, 23 realtors have joined us in the last 2 weeks. Oh, wow. Isn't that incredible? And of the 23, we have 6 Cardinal clubs. So yeah. So let me welcome all the new beautiful family members. And I apologize right now for any huge mistakes I'm getting ready to make.
You want me to take this first page?
No, actually, what we're doing, Bernie, these are the new agents, and you can do them all.
Oh, that's right.
Spoke up.
I'm so glad that you are so anxious to step up. Because I think Mac started this morning with, good luck with this. So it's all yours, Pepper.
All right, well, then I'll apologize for butchering everybody's name.
Thank
all
you,
right.
buddy.
So welcome to the family. Mehek Akbar. Who's a new agent. Alia Dood, who's coming over from Real Estate Experts. Brittany Beechaman from Keller Williams. Shaza Khan from Guidance Realty. Chris Erickson from Douglas Realty. Alex Achmampong
Very good.
from
Very
Keller
good.
Williams. Gabriel Arungaran from LNF.
Very good.
yeah.
All right. LNF fans over there.
Gabrielle, Hamdia Galster from Keller Williams. Kashif Sohail from Keller Williams. Ramsey Dalba from Guidance Realty. And Ricardo Salas from Keller Williams. I know Ricardo's in the crowd. Hey, Ricardo.
There's Ricardo. Yep. Good to see you, buddy. Good to see you. Switch. Big one there. Big hitter.
Oh, sorry about that. Another Ricardo.
We have another Ricardo. We have 2 Ricardos.
Got it.
But Ricardo's not on here yet. This Ricardo. You signed up, didn't you?
There we go.
No, but is that you? No. Sales? Is that sales? Okay, it is. Okay, good. Okay. So do we have 2 Ricardos?
Was he
then?
last meeting?
Yeah, it must be. No, then we didn't get you up here this. We got to get you up this time.
What's your
Ricardo.
last name again?
Yeah,
That's right, Ricardo Calderon. He's here as well. Okay, he just joined our company.
So 24 realtors in the last 2 weeks.
That's
Thank you,
right.
Ricardo.
And it's the first time we've ever had
We'll get you next time.
2 Ricardos at the same time, which is awesome. I don't think so.
That's good. That's pretty good.
Tech Chang from Guidance Realty.
Tech Chang.
Alma Acosta from Weichert.
Hey.
Weichert. Jay Lovering from JRL and Associates. Welcome, Jay. Brendan Nick, who's a new agent. Sarah Biggers, who's a new agent. Jacqueline Steele from Keller Williams. Lance Nobles from Pearson Smith. Paul Almeida from Berkshire Hathaway. Paul, way to go. He's a brand new agent, and he's already ratified 2 deals with Cardinal Title Group.
Hot damn. Who's that? Paul did?
Paul did.
Oh,
Yep.
man.
Richard Tellez from Berkshire Hathaway.
Is he the one that moved into Lake Ridge office?
Paul?
Yes.
Yeah, because Ed Torres is down there.
Steel trap.
Steel Trap.
Go on.
Richard Tellez from Berkshire Hathaway. Cheryl Mutri from LNF. Deshaun Edwards from United. Is that it? And Gabriella Santamaria, who went from inactive. And Wal Velazquez from Carrington Real Estate Services.
Hot dog.
All
There's
right,
24
welcome.
people. 24. Thank
Welcome.
you all. All right. Woo! That is just incredible. I just can't get over that. 24 realtors in the last 2 weeks. Thank you so much. And again, thank you because, again, everybody out of all those, all but 6 or so came from you guys. So 18 of the 24 came from you guys that brought everybody here. So thank you guys very, very much for that. Thank you. Great job. What's that? Yeah, there was 6. Don't think I didn't count. Sorry. Sorry.
I thought that one was supposed to stay in the back.
That was. Did I actually say that?
You said it out loud,
I did?
yes,
Okay.
it's all right.
All right, sorry. I can't help it. They rained on my world no 6. Paybacks are hell, aren't they? All right. Sorry about that. I won't do that ever again. All right, you ready? Now.
Maybe.
Now, the reason we're all here and the reason we have a company is these 114 people that used Cardinal Title in the last 2 weeks. And I want to thank every last one. If your name's on this list, you're my hero. You're the reason this dream is alive. So thank you all very, very much. You ready, Pep?
I'm ready.
Let's announce the greatest people around. Here we go. Go for it.
Okay. Ahmad.
I should jump on the first page,
That's
shouldn't
all
I?
right.
since you
No,
took
it's
last?
okay. Ahmad Malikzai, twice. Albert Zhang, 2 settlements as well.
Yeah.
Althea Hurst. Amir Masumi. Angel Caballero, 2 times.
2 times.
Angel Wong. Angela Harrison. Anish Nair, twice. Antoine Mensah, 2 settlements. Arslan Jamil, 3 times.
Way to go, Arslan.
Way to go, Arslan. Ashley Thorne. Bassam Hamandi.
Go, Ashley.
Berta Vasquez, Bob Lovett, Brett Schenkel, Candida Carnero,
Arrow.
Casey Quitkin twice, Casey Sampson, Christopher Deloach, Christopher O'Neill, Christina Macora twice, Damir Mushik, Dean Moore, Dennis Presley,
DJ.
DJ,
DJ Gurma 2 times. Ed Torres. Eddie Seymour 2 times. Edwin Layton. Erla Reyes 2 times. Ernie Dill. Great, Ernie. Evelyn Cheme Vucevic. No.
Yep.
Vucevic, yes. Evelyn Gonzalez. Feza Alvi 2 times. Frank Mazias. Galamini. Emil Safagalu. Jaime Jiang. Helena Ashton. Hong Fuang. Huang Zhang. Iftikhar Khan. Jamie Magna. Did we ever is it Jaime? Yeah. Jaime Magna. That's what I thought. Okay. Jaime Magna. Jan Han. Janice Carnes. Jeff Bennett. John Hitchcock. 3 times.
Woo,
John.
Here you go, John.
He got that resting location up and running. Way to go, John. John Hitchcock and John Corello. Jorge Bohabat, 3 times. Jorge,
Go,
great
Jorge.
job. 3 times, Jorge. Great job. And Julie Holtkamp.
Julie Young, Kathy Ramirez twice,
Woo!
Kathy Pippin, Khalid Al-Hajbeh, Kim Schultz, Lalita Barty, Lana Schoenerer, Larry Bean,
And Laura
Lalam
Bean.
Fasia.
Larry and Laura Bean.
Larry and Laura Bean. That's exactly right. Thank you.
Get him, Laura. Who does it?
Get
I
'em.
think, who do it?
Nobody's gonna volunteer now to say they did it. You think Doris gonna be over there going, "Oh, it was me"?
It just comes in.
Someone
It
put
just
this together.
arrives. Lalam
Okay.
Fasia,
We'll
Manuel
get you fixed.
Espilat, Maria Lightly, Maritza Munoz,
Jesse dimed her out.
Matt Whitman, Melanie Gray, Nancy Song, Nick Moradi, Nilsa Rivas, Nick Zhang, Noli Manalotta, Percival McCarthy, Peter Frank,
Yeah, Peter.
Peter's in the house.
Rajakshar Kovali twice, Rex Thomas,
Rex Thomas.
and Ritu Desai twice.
Robert Rook. Roberta Valencia. Rocio Kosic. Ron Scafidi. Salim Abdi. Samira Rantisi 2 times. Sarah Taylor. Sean Hopkins. Sean Kang. Sharon Lang. Shelley Hensley. Miriam Bahobat Furtaj. Sylvia Rivas. Stephen Benitez. Susan McClanahan 2 times. Tila Thorne. Thu Nguyen. Tim Royster. Tony Grubb. Tanya Lucas Carroll. Tracy Wilkerson. Troy Spinogle, Vitkar Kusevic, Vipul Mehta, and Vuthu Pal. That's everybody, guys.
Good job,
Thank
buddy.
you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Those
you.
people right there make this company possible. Thank you.
And for everybody who used First Heritage Mortgage as well, thank you very,
Yes,
very much.
yes. You don't know. You don't know. All right, that's beautiful. Thank you, Pep. All right. Okay, where do we want to start with, Donnie? First of all, I want to thank everybody again for Cardinal, and thank you all for recruiting so much. Hey, the next sales meeting in January, the next one would be on January the 2nd, so we don't want to do that. So what we decided to do is in January, we're going to do the 2nd and 4th Wednesdays, okay? So whatever that is, so it'll be the
9th and 23rd.
9th and 23rd, okay? So January, it'll be the 2nd and 4th Wednesdays of the month, okay? Not January the 2nd.
Which works too because there are 5 in January. So we'll stay on every 2-week schedule.
That's why we did it.
We just won't start until the 9th instead of the 2nd. Yep.
9th and 23rd, because there's 5 Wednesdays actually in January.
Yep.
So that's good. All right, so the 2nd and 4th. I want to thank everybody. I've gotten so many beautiful cards and gifts, and I want to thank you guys. I'm not sure what the protocol is. I've run it by different people. But I just want to make sure I thank everybody for
I think
the wonderful.
we're going to need thank you notes. I'm
That's
messing
not
with
what
him. I'm messing with him.
No, but you're right. But I do sincerely, the cards and so some of the nicest things, I want to thank everybody for that. Thank you very much for the nice cards and the nice gifts. I really, really do appreciate your nice, kind thoughts. Thank you. It is important to me. I read them all, and I just love it. It really jerks a tear most of the time.
I think the thoughts are even, the cards are even better than the gifts to him.
Yeah,
just
it really
from an
does,
outsider
because
standpoint.
your kind words mean a lot to me. Okay, Donnie, we got a whole bunch of things to go over. One thing I did want to remind everybody from the last sales meeting, and Doris, if you don't mind, could I and Holly, could we just pass some of those out right there?
Do you want to do the calendar first real quick?
I'm sorry?
Do you want to do the calendar stuff real quick?
Yes. Yeah, how did we skip over that? Oh, we normally do. I'm sorry, my bad. So if
You just
if
get
could-
excited about talking about things you like
I
to
do.
talk about.
I know. If you guys could throw those around, and Donnie, we'll go over the calendar next, and then I'm just going to touch on this that we talked about last week. That the girls are passing around. You can take a look at it. All right. So the upcoming events this coming week, Wednesday. That's today is the 19th, right?
Yes.
Is that correct? From
It's
11
at-
to 12 at Chantilly. Oh yeah, they're coming right. They're following the meeting, guys. And it's Stump the Attorney with Sarah Petra and Tula Gross, who were. Sarah was the legal counsel for a long time for NVAR, so she's as good as they come when it comes to asking questions, when it comes to legal counsel. She was our legal counsel at NVAR for several years, so she's good. They're going to be here, and Mike, who's not feeling well this morning, asked me to just continue it right from, so I'm going to thank everybody and then kind of bow out, and they're going to come right in and take right over and go for about an hour, they said. So, I'd rather... hopefully you can stay and listen and ask questions, but I want to keep it kind of, if you are leaving, we want to be quiet so that they can merge into the meeting without too much disturbance, okay? So if you don't want to stick around for it, then please just be quiet as we leave so they can take over. And they just didn't want there to be a big, huge intermission between the two. So we're going to run right into their conference right after the meeting here. So that's Sarah Petra and Tula. And then tomorrow, Kara Morgan at Alexandria. Karen's doing a contract class. So for those of you that want to learn and talk about contracts, tomorrow, Alexandria from 3 o'clock to 5 o'clock. Please RSVP to Karen. And you can go on the Nest, go to the calendar, and RSVP to any one of these, okay? So if you will do that, I'd appreciate it. The next one, CoStar and LoopNet for you commercial people that are interested in commercial. They're going to come in Tuesday, January the 8th. At 11 a.m. here in Chantilly to go over LoopNet and CoStar. So that's January the 8th at 11 a.m. Okay? Who's that?
It's in Alexander.
In Alexander?
She always does it in the suite, typically.
Does she? Oh, good,
Yeah.
good. And hey, guys, sorry about that in Alexander. It's a little dusty over there right now. But we knew it. We knew it. It's the best thing. I think just pack up your stuff and probably get out of there for a couple of weeks until the dust settles, because there's a lot of dust around there right now. And I don't care how many tarps you put up, there's still dust. That stuff finds its way through. Let's see, upcoming January events, McLean's social media and branding videos. So Mac and Leslie, you guys heading to McLean on January the 11th from 10 until 2. Please sign up. McLean, here they come. They're coming to see you. If you want to do any social media or web, whatever you want to do, line it up with Mac and Leslie. They're coming to see you on January the 11th at 10 a.m. until 2. Then on January the 17th, at National Harbor. Here they come, guys. They're coming to see you. January the 17th, 10 a.m., National Harbor, Mac and Leslie. And then Fredericksburg, they're coming down to see you on the 28th at 10 a.m. So please sign up and get some things done if you want to while they're down there. And then January the 30th, the Tech Summit. What's that going to be all about, guys? January the 30th from 10 a.m.
So that'll be
right
similar
here?
to what we had. Yeah, it'll be here in Chantilly.
Okay.
Be similar to what we had. I guess it was the fall, right? Summer, where we had the Schultzes, Tila. Who else do we have up there?
Josue's over there.
Josue
Josue.
Ruiz, and then I thought there was a fourth. Is it just them three?
There was 4, but both Schultzes were here.
Oh, both Schultzes. So we're going to get just interesting tech topics, people within your company that do it really well. We bring up and talk a lot. And you can learn a lot from others in our company that are doing a great job. So, Mac will bring great topics that we're studying up on now. We're reaching out to all of our agents and say, hey, is there anybody that has some interesting things they're doing? So it's more of a tech summit where we're going to talk all things tech, new good ideas that are out there, and kind of dive into what other people are having success with. So it's a great time. We will tape it. We do have last year's on there. If this is the first year hearing about it, there was lots of great tips in that one from Josue and Tila and the Schultzes. And they're all very successful on social media.
You have to, guys. I mean, it's really a great way of getting business free. I mean, they're getting on that social media. Yeah, Rob. Hold on one sec, buddy. I need to get you. It's all right.
On Josue specifically, I would friend him on Facebook. He is very good on social media. What he posts, it's very, very good. So
That's Josue Ruiz.
Yeah, Josue Ruiz.
man.
Jose's going to get 50 friend requests in a second. He's so popular.
I love watching he does a very good job. So I would highly recommend friending him to watch what he does.
You're exactly right, though. You watch what people are doing that are getting success, and then you do it. And that's how you get more business. More business. Social media, guys, it's the way to go. It's free, and it's easy. Josue, yes, sir. Microphone. Holly? Sorry. Josue needs a microphone. We got one? Good. Thank you.
I just want to say that, I mean, what you said is true. Just the results that I'm getting from social media and Facebook right now. I want to say, I want to credit. I think so. For next year, I want to say 4 listings because of the Facebook advertisings that I'm doing and just those things like that. So, I mean, I can just say next year, just going to 2019, I'm probably going to be about $2 million in sales volume. So, and that's just through social media, videos, and all that kind of stuff. And it's free. It really doesn't cost me anything. I mean, you just have to get up there and be out there. And
use our resources. We do videos here for you. You're doing videos. Josue, that's awesome. Thank you, buddy.
Mac's a good help, too. So,
Mac's a great help. Thank you, Josue. Mac is a great help. So come to that Tech Summit, guys, January 30th. Is it right here?
Yes.
January 30th, right here, 10 a.m. to noon, and learn a lot. We'll video it. We're going to video it? Okay, good. So we'll have it on video, so if you can't make it, you'll be able to see it within a couple of days of the meeting. I know Josue's name. What do you mean, Josue? No, Josue. Is that correct?
It's because
Ruiz.
He's saying that because everybody's trying to friend request him probably right now.
That's true. That's true. Josue, right? And then Ruiz?
Yep.
Right. How about that? Huh? Not bad, huh? Well, Jose's been close to me for a long time. He was one of my first guys in Lake Ridge.
Yeah, that's
He's
right.
listened to a lot of my advice, and we worked together on it. And I think it's paying off. I think this got a whole... Thank you, buddy. I mean, it's a whole new world, and I just, it warms me so deeply to see someone, especially with 5 or 6 children running around everywhere. You got a lot of mouths to
It's got
feed.
7 now, actually.
7. Are you 7? Jeez, Louise, 7 kids.
His wife's
Yeah.
next to him. They look like they're both 25 years old, and they got 7 kids. Look at him and his wife.
7 kids. Oh, what do you eat? That is really something. I don't know what you eat, but I tell you what, I want to live like you guys. How do you have 7 kids? They look like they're 30 years old. No, I don't. I got enough. More grandkids. Okay, good. Thanks, Josue. So I would be here on January the 30th and be a part of that, because that's social media. And by the way, it's free, right? All that stuff you're doing. Now, some of the Facebook you buy into, but a lot of the social media is all free. It's just a matter of getting out there and getting yourself out there. Congratulations. Good job, buddy. Okay. The next thing, we got a lunch and learn coming to International Country Club. They finished the remodeling. The place is absolutely gorgeous. So January the 10th, if you have anybody who's thinking about wanting to know about us, I'm going to do a lunch and learn from 12 to 2:30, International Country Club, January the 10th. January the 10th. It's got the link right on there that they can sign up. Please, we just have them RSVP. They don't have to give us their name or anything, but we do need a head count for food. So please, if you know somebody, have them RSVP and come and learn all about us.
That link will also be on the calendar on the Nest, that RSVP link as well.
Yes. Yes, sir. Good. Thank you, Donnie.
You're
Anything
welcome.
else on the calendar? Is that it for the calendar?
That's all I got.
Okay. Before we bust into too many things, I just want to remind everybody about last sales meeting when you see the brochures that I put a bunch of brochures out where they've got that's the no money down. So we talked about I was going to split the cost. Those brochures you're holding on to right now are $1 a piece in the mail. Postage and all, $1 a piece. And what we're doing is I'm splitting the cost with you. So it's only 50 cents for you, and I'll pay the other 50 cents. We talked about mailing to like 500 renters. If you need help, what Holly and Doris did in the last week is they put together a beautiful step-by-step checklist on how to do that. So when you go to the video on the Nest, right, Donnie?
Yep.
There's the video on the Nest that you can watch where I explain. It's a 16-minute video, actually. Good job, Leslie.
She's
putting all that
underneath you.
together.
You're looking around like you don't know where Leslie is.
So it's a great 16-minute on this.
And the Learn More Here, is that the link that you put up?
And that's got the printed material. Is that
Yep.
okay? That's where you can download the printed material, which is what I'm holding on to. This is a step-by-step instruction on how to do that if you want to do it. You know that all the staff in here knows how to do it, and they'll be glad to sit down with you and teach you. If you need a half an hour to learn, that's what they're here for. We have 6 people. You're not putting them out. That's why they're here, to sit down with you for as long as you want and help you. So they've done this so you can do it yourself, and it's right when you watch the video on the front page of the Nest. It's got that link that said, what did it say that you clicked on?
It said Learn More.
Learn More. It says Learn More Here. Click on that, and that'll get you to the printed version of how the step-by-step on how to do it.
Step-by-step and the order form and all that kind of stuff.
But the idea was, for those of you that didn't hear it, the idea was if you mail to 500 renters, and you can easily go into the MLS and pull up absentee owners in a certain area, I would say, although we decided to bring it down to find more people, 1,000, 1,200, 1,500.
Well, what we figured out was when you were just searching by price point, we weren't able to find enough stuff. So actually, we've catered it now to going into the tax records and searching by square footage. So if you're going into a certain zip code, you know what zip code. If you're in 20121, the Centerville townhouses, and you want to mine all those renters, you set that minimum square footage at 1,400 or plus or whatever. You don't want maybe the 800 square foot condos, but you want something that has got some size to it, because then you're going to go to people that are paying a little bit more money. So I would set that minimum square foot, whether it's 1,000 or 1,500 or 2,000, and it'll get all your numbers that way.
Now, Donnie's concept of the way he did it for years was when he was mailing out to the renters, he'd go into the MLS and find people that signed leases 7, 8, 9, 10 months ago, because those are the ones that are coming up, which is very good. But you need a little bit bigger circle to hit those. Now, one of the only drawbacks, and what we've decided might help you, is to go into the tax records and look for absentee owners. Instead of the MLS looking for rental properties, because half of them went for sale by owner, or they got leased by owner. So they wouldn't be in the MLS under the rental, because a lot of them are rented by the landlords. But if you go into the tax records or the public records now and just pull up absentee owner properties, that way you'll get them all. But we don't want land, so that's why we put living area. I would put in the box living area.
It's building
900
square
plus.
feet now.
Square feet? Yes.
It says building square feet. That's the name of the category, not living area anymore.
Okay.
Yes.
So living area is now building square feet, and I'd put in there 1,000 plus, just to make sure that we got 1,000 square feet. It's not raw land. And if I'm setting my list, if it was me, and I was setting up 400 or 500, I would go through address by address and make sure that the address is not in some commercial district or some industrial park. I'd make sure they're all in residential neighborhoods the way you want them. Because once you set that list one time and email it to the front desk, now they've got it for you. And just say, run it on the first day of every month. That's it. And I'll send you the new template if I'm going to send you a new template. If not, just on the first of the month, mail it out to those same 500 people. Because the idea is, if you mail to those 500 renters every month, month after month, with this beautiful piece I'm talking about, you're not just mailing them. This is a wonderful piece with the thick stock. That's the good premier glossy stock that it's going on. If they open that up every month, these are 500 people. A lot of them are going to buy, and they're going to call you when the time comes. So the idea is this, that if you mail to 500 people, that's $250 your way, $250 my way. If you do that for 12 months, that's $3,000 for the whole year. If I can just get you 1 or 2 or 3 buyers, that's $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 on a $3,000 annual investment. So if you'll do like I always did in my career, when I found something that worked, I doubled it, tripled it. I know.
I predicted it.
Yeah, that's it. That's
They broke though.
Why look for 10 new things when I got one that works? So I'm just going to triple this son of a gun, and it will work. I promise you. So
as Josue said, listen to the man. He knows what he's talking about. Worked for me. Works.
I got to hear this. This sounds good. You don't want a big hug. Don't get me coming across there.
You're telling everybody our secret. So I did what he told me to do last year. The same newsletter. Well, not the same newsletter. It's different. It was actually the paper one that we folded and
So it was about a third as good as this?
it was yeah. It was not good. But
It's all we had. It's all we had.
that's all we had. But it was good enough because I got a listing from that, and then she was like halfway through it, she was like, "Hey, I want to buy." So I invested. It was like $890, and I made $17,000 back. So thanks to you, buddy.
Oh no! He's going for it.
Thank you, buddy. You're the man.
He's going for it.
I'm going to get the steps.
That's what I wanted.
Don't tell that and a social media ad in one day. He'll.
Great job, buddy. That's it. That's it. Great. And now we've got this really premium material. So now it's nice thick stock. It looks really first class. And on the front page, it's got 3 nice pictures of homes.
It takes a little more out of you than he used to.
But it's really a nice piece, and they open it up, and there's 25 other homes they can buy, no money out of pocket. If you hit them month after month, when the time comes and their lease is coming up, they're going to call you because you put the beautiful piece in front of them every month. You're the one that knows how to get them into this thing with no money out of pocket. They're going to call you. Okay. I love that one. And get your First Heritage loan officers with you, because the first thing they do when they call you is, I'm going to marry him up with a First Heritage loan officer. First thing I'm going to do.
What does this mean, no money down? Well,
yeah.
You should be the one answering all those questions, right? Get them with your experienced pro on the First Heritage end. They'll get them talking right away and get them qualified. Make sure that before you hop in the car with them, they're good to go. They feel confident and you feel confident.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, good. Yes.
Yep.
Yes. Now,
That was just a mock-up.
yeah, that's a mock-up. And also in the front, I think on the front cover, they talk a little bit towards the bottom about getting your home ready for a listing. You want that off there, because this is for just buyers. So one of the things I might consider if I were you to put on there is that if you want to give them a little bit of a gift, that would be a great place to put it. If you want to give them a $1,000 gift certificate to a furniture store or towards closing costs, I'd put it in big bold right there where that one thing is talked about getting your house ready. We don't need that. That's for listings. So you could change anything in that newsletter you want. You can change anything you want. That's the one thing I would change. But other than that, yeah, and the cost up top, yeah, that won't be on there. But that's a beautiful piece. And I'll tell you, and god dang it, don't do it for 4 or 5 months. If you're going to do this, do it for 12 months. Because the calls will start coming in 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th month, 12th month. Keep going with it. Don't stop after 4 or 5 months if you haven't gotten a call, doggone it. They're going to look at it, and every month their lease is getting closer and closer, and after they've looked at it 6 months and then their lease is up, that's when you're going to start getting phone calls. So I hope you'll do it. I think Holly we had upwards of 20 requests, I think, was somewhere thereabouts after the last sales meeting.
Doris might know.
Doris? We had
how many people are good people? 15?
15 people are involved right away, and I hope that 6 months from now, I hope there's...
Rick said 16.
Good. Good. Because I'll tell you,
We got a
and you know what?
17.
You know what? I can't wait to hear. I can't wait to hear, and I want to hear the minute you guys
Going once,
start.
go twice.
The minute you start closing deals, I want to hear about it. Okay? If you close one on this, please let me know because I get so excited when you guys get deals off these things. So,
But if you
please
bring it
let
up
me
in a meeting, you're going to get a public hug.
Yeah.
Just know that.
know. Look out. All right, good. Okay, Donnie, let's move to the next thing, which was, I guess, Cardinal is
Carrie's here.
Carrie. Hey, Carrie. How you doing, Carrie? Carrie Lindsay. As absolutely my lifesaver. I love you. Turn Cardinal title. Oh, I tell you what, the place is running like a top, and thank you so much for everything you do.
Oh, thank you, Danny.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm really proud to be part of Cardinal. Just wanted to touch on this. We've had some confusion about how this program works. So it only works if you're a Samson listing agent with a Samson listing. So step one, ask yourself this. Is it a Samson listing? Am I the listing agent or is there a Samson listing agent? Because if there's not, this doesn't work for you. This doesn't apply to you. We have calls every single day, people confused about this. So I think it's very simple. If there's not a Samson listing agent, there's no $500 discount.
Yeah, we just can't.
Step one, is it a Samson listing?
Yes. Yeah.
Good.
I
Got
made
it.
a flow chart, but it was really simple. It only
It
flowed
just
two
had
different
one step.
directions. So I didn't think it was worthy of a slide. It's very simple. If it's not a Samson listing, there's no $500 discount.
I want to see your flow chart. And how far?
It was really sad. But we love to have all your transactions listings. We love it when you bring the buyer to us especially, but we love all your transactions, but there's only a discount for certain transactions when there's a Samson listing agent. So if you're confused about it, give us a call before you write the contract and promise somebody $500. If you're confused, happy to explain it to you and help explain it to your clients too if there's some confusion.
Yeah.
Doris, just give it to him because he just yells and constantly.
Yeah, it's very simple, Bobby, yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Step B, buyer comes to Cardinal.
Yeah.
Is it a Samson
Done.
listing and is the buyer coming to Cardinal?
Yes.
Then the seller
Ta-da.
gets $500 off.
Yes. Then the magic happens, the $500 magic.
You're
so
right,
it is
Bob.
very
Step
simple.
one, step two.
Yeah.
Step one, it's got to be a Samson listing.
Yes.
Step two, the buyer's coming to Cardinal. That's it.
No other steps.
What about if
Got a
you?
question? Hold on 1 sec, Laura. Sorry.
Do you have any suggestions on how the seller can entice the buyer to use Cardinal? Because I find that kind of difficult.
Sure.
Yeah.
I just did it on one of my
Great.
listings. Of course, as we know, the buyer can always change. So, and you mentioned Paul, who just joined. He just wrote on my listing too, but it was another one, and basically, kind of strong-armed the agent and just said, hey, we're paying your home warranty. Hey, can you just, it's just going to make everything go smoother. We have, coinciding settlements, yada, yada, yada. So basically they agreed, Of course, as Donnie says, they can always back out, but I think we showed enough goodwill with our closing costs and everything else to say, hey, just make it a win since my seller's giving you the washer and dryer, giving you the warranty. Hey, it's going to help her get extra $500.
And that's great, Rick, and I really, really appreciate that. But I think also to back yourself up, write it in there that the home warranty, or
Well, that's only if they're tying it.
If you are tying it to something, if the seller's going, hey, listen, I'll buy them the warranty if they do that. Then you got, yeah, I know, but we still have to make sure that somewhere in the sales contract, if they pull out and change companies, you're not responsible for whatever it is you were going to give them, whether it be, right?
No, yeah. I was just clearing my throat. Right.
Yeah, which we're not.
No, you can write that in there. If it is tied to it, I think what you were saying was just the good faith of using look, we're taking care of you in this, this, and this. We'd love to do this. A lot of it comes down to leverage and negotiation too. If you've got 2 contracts or it's the first weekend on the market, then it's a lot easier for that seller to plant their flag in the ground and be like, one condition is we really want Cardinal title, because the seller knows they're getting an extra kick of $500 if they can get it there. So a lot of it's leverage. A lot of it is you can play up, well, the seller's going to close it regardless. The whole transaction is going to work a lot smoother if we can do the closing together. One company, I really don't want to do splits, but my seller really is going to use Cardinal. So, playing up that we really like to keep them together, the leverage factor if it's an early one, and promote the fact that because we have so many locations, we can hopefully close somewhere close to that property, whereas the other buyer's title company may or may not have that advantage. So it might not be an advantage in your case, but that is something that you can offer to them, is that you can always typically close at a location close. So
I got a
proximity, together, and leverage.
I got a quick thought. They're asking for a warranty on the contract, and you're negotiating back and forth. And you say, I don't want to buy that warranty. And you're saying, well, hold on a second. If we can get the buyer to come to Cardinal, then you'll get a $500 credit. So at that point, say, well, the seller will buy you that warranty, but we're going to write it in the contract that if you leave Cardinal Title, the warranty goes away too. Because you don't want to get into a contract and promise the seller, you're talking to the listing agent, talking to the seller, going, hey, listen, I can get you $500 if we get him to come. Then we say, so go ahead and buy the warranty because we'll have the $500 to pay for it. But then all of a sudden they back out a week later. And if you haven't written it in, they still want the warranty. You're obligated to get them the warranty, but the seller's now not going to get the $500 credit. So if I'm talking to the seller, if I'm talking to the seller and I'm saying, listen, we're negotiating. They got 5 different things we're trying to negotiate in this contract. Let's give them the warranty, but we got to make sure that we write in that they have to use Cardinal in order to get that. That way, if they do pull out of Cardinal, the warranty goes away, and your seller's not obligated for the warranty, $500, and looking at you going, hey, you owe me the warranty now, bro, because you told me that I was going to get this credit.
I think the key, and Bernie can correct me if I'm wrong, but and Laura, I remember you have a question here, is that a lot of times we get to, and I 100% agree with you, all the warranty and putting it in, is most of the time as listing agents, we don't ask. The one thing I might do is I might put it in the remarks. Cardinal prefers settlement. Half the time Bernie got his listing agent, and I didn't get as much as him, but I got it some, is you just have to say it's important to the seller when they call it, hey, I'm interested in writing an offer, anything we need to know. Just the mere suggestion or the counter into it, most buyers they're going to go with it because they want the house. And if they think it's important, they're not countering back to try to really hang in there. So most of the time it's you have to ask. We don't have to, if we have to include a warranty or some kind, that's fine. But a lot of times if you just ask or put it in there or counter with it, they're going to agree because they're more worried about the other terms. They're not worried about they don't want this to be the backbreaker on the deal. But as a listing agent, just make it a part of the conversation that your sellers want, and you'll get a good percentage of them just that way.
Good. Yes.
Laura, and then we'll go back there.
I need a microphone in the back, please, when Laura's done.
If you only get the credit if you write the verbiage in the listing agreement, correct?
No.
If it's not in the listing agreement, then
no. The only reason I say to put it in the listing agreement is to protect, so the seller knows that it's in writing from you. There's no requirement to put in the listing agreement. That's really a suggestion by me, because then the seller, I think if you put in that listing agreement and the seller reads it and they're signing that, now it's definitely in their mind. So when the contract comes in, they now have that motivation to negotiate with you for Cardinal because they know they're going to get paid. Instead of one of the 20 things you said during the listing appointment that they don't really remember. But if it's in the agreement, it's in writing, they're more likely to take that to heart and negotiate with you. Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, so let's just say that I've got a listing and I do persuade the buyers to use Cardinal to get the $500 fee. What is the mechanism to formalize that? Is it a contract addendum? And could we perhaps get some language?
No, you just have to let the process. Just like Cardinal now. They'll just cut it off their fee. So instead of having their settlement fee.
But as Danny was saying, how do we prevent them backing out?
Well, we won't.
No, the buyer. The buyer.
Oh, the buyer. Well, that's why I write in the contract.
There isn't really any I guess I'm confused in your question because we can't, Cardinal's not really participating in putting that as a part of the Cardinal's not a party to your contract in that way. Does that?
But we know.
The seller would really only want to put it in there to protect themselves if they're giving something of value that the buyer could pull away. If you just convince them and you got a deal and then the buyer pulls out next week, there's not a whole lot the seller can do about that because there's not something they can write in to say, you have to close with us or this. Like in Danny's circumstances, it was, or we only pay for the warranty if you close at Cardinal. You can't write something in that says you must close with Cardinal or what? Or the deal's void? I mean, I guess you could write that.
No, or you don't get the 500, I guess.
But who's getting? Yeah. But the buyer's not getting the 500. Okay. The seller's getting it.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So that's why you wouldn't really want unless the seller's offering that 500 to the buyer in some circumstances.
Okay. Thank you.
So I probably wouldn't get that deep with it, CC right here, Holly. We're running you ragged here. She's getting her
Getting
work.
exercise
She's getting her
this
steps in.
Now,
Yeah.
can we put that in other contract section? At
It would be
end?
the paragraph, yes.
So now that is not a violation of any RESPA.
No, and it's really even a debate of how much of a violation it is. The only time that Cardinal would get in trouble is if they're promoting this, or Samson is, we're promoting the home warranty, that we're providing something about. You guys can negotiate whatever you want as part of your contract. Cardinal's not a part of that, so that's where it's, if you decide you're going to give them a chandelier if they close at Cardinal, or a home warranty, we can't protect. That's not Cardinal getting involved in that negotiation. So that's a
Previously,
different
when
thing.
I enticed them to come with us, I'm not a huge leasing agent, but I did entice come with us. I always say, here's the Cardinal fee. You can compare with the leading settlement company's fee side by side, see where we come up.
Yep.
Yeah, perfect.
And
That's
that's
a great
much,
idea.
much easier.
That-
that way.
right.
Yeah, that's a
That's a
great
good way.
idea.
And if for
Good
some
way.
reason there's an issue with that, always come to Carrie and Reed with that, and they'll make sure
Yeah,
we're good
we'll
to
talk
go.
about it.
I have them signed by the seller, and then I put it up on the document section, so them to download and look at it.
Okay.
Good
We
advice.
have another question over here.
advice.
Doris,
Another
do you have a mic or no? Oh, you
Okay,
got one.
So
Okay.
can you tie in part or all of the closing costs contribution from the seller to the buyer using
You
Cardinal?
can do whatever you want between the buyer and the seller.
Okay.
If the buyer signs it and agrees to it, sure. We had this, it was Carol McCarthy, I want to say last meeting maybe, where it was $10,000, and maybe that's extreme to say you don't get any subsidy if you don't close with Cardinal, but you might say the subsidy drops to $9,000 or $8,000 if you remove yourself from Cardinal title. You can write something like that in there. Buyer and seller can write whatever they want, in there when it comes to that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
and the easiest way a lot of times to get it in there is when you're going back and forth and the buyer comes back and you want to say yes to their counter, but you want to throw just one last piece in there. That's the easiest time to get it in, because they're right. Doesn't matter how loyal that
Right.
buying agent is to their title company.
Right.
They want to ratify first.
Right.
Yeah.
Only $9,000 of the closing costs stay in there if you don't use it. Something like that. That's
Good.
probably
So
what
we
I-
want to make sure we get this straightened out. Any other questions on this topic?
We got another mic over here. Holly pointed to the middle. I don't see
That's
that.
the same topic?
Oh, Tammy.
Tammy.
Hi.
Hi. You guys are making this so complicated, and it's really so easy.
It's so simple.
We got to get them to Cardinal. That's why we get 100%. So, that's just the way I look at everything with our company. But as a listing agent, I would just stick it right in. We have a document in MLS where we give instructions on what to do. And it's so easy. If you tell them what to do, they'll actually do it most of the time.
A lot. You're going to get a lot more
So-
just by asking. You're correct.
And I would just write in there, any subsidy or warranty that the seller helps with is contingent on the buyer using Cardinal title.
That's
Sure.
it.
And you set the expectation right up front. And they're
There you
not
go.
going to balk at that most of the time.
Right.
Just that simple. Thank you.
Thanks, Tammy.
Thank you. Very succinct.
Carrie has other thoughts.
Okay.
Love it.
I just have a couple more quick things.
Okay.
We good?
Here
okay.
we go.
The courthouse is closed next Monday and Tuesday. Same thing the following week. So be careful. I would suggest trying to close on the 26th or 27th if you want to record before the end of the year. We are open New Year's Eve. A lot of people want to close that day before the end of the year, so we're here for you. We'll be fully open that day. New Year's Eve, yeah, the 31st. Yeah, we're here. Uh-oh, I'm kind of scared now. Oh my gosh.
Scared?
Yeah.
Laura, where'd you go?
Okay,
She might
well-
have had something that wanted to close, but she
Yeah.
didn't think it could.
Well, while we wait for Laura to return, we are losing Travis, one of our settlement agents, at the end of the year, and we are looking for a replacement. We've got some great leads, but if you have anybody that's excellent and is a licensed settlement agent with experience already, if they could send their resume to Reed or to me, we'd be interested in talking to them. We think we've got a couple people who are really good, but we want somebody who's the absolute best. So we need somebody experienced and licensed. But if you know somebody, please let us know. And last but not least, I just want to put in a plug for my friends.
We can literally hear Laura from here.
Oh, my
Go
God.
Go on.
Tula Gross and Sarah Petcher will be giving a presentation at 11 today. They're going to be talking about teams and the new team legislation. They are both great presenters, wonderful attorneys. So I just want to invite everybody to stay and be part of that today at 11.
Okay.
Okay.
Great.
That's
Anything
it.
else
Thank
for
you.
Carrie?
Good. Thank you,
Thanks.
Carrie.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. One of my big heroes in this world, Carrie Lindsay. All right, First Heritage Mortgage, man. I tell you, you guys are using them. Thank you very much. That business is really, really kicking up. I think we got a huge host of great loan officers. I really believe that. I would never advise you to use them if I didn't think that. So I'm extremely proud of every one of the loan officers I've talked with First Heritage. Friend.
Hi, Phil Denfeld with First Heritage Mortgage. First of all, I just want to say happy holidays to everybody. It's been a great year, and the growth of the relationship between First Heritage and Samson has been phenomenal, and we just look forward to even be better and better in 2019. So if you haven't given us a try, one of our loan officers, please remember to do so. Now, I wanted to just quickly remind everybody, I know you heard about the loan limits going up, and when it first came out, it was just for conventional loans. And as expected, the loan limits have also been increased for both FHA and VA. So the conventional conforming loan limit is $484, $350, and then the high balance loan limit, which is for our area, is 150% of that, or $726, $525. So from a VA perspective, I just want to go over that because a lot of people are confused about that. That means you can do 100% financing on a VA loan up to $726, $525 loan amount. However, there's no limit on the size of a VA loan. If a veteran wants to buy $1.5 million property, they can still do so. The only difference is that they have to bring 25% of the difference between $1.5 million and the $726, $525, put 25% of that as a down payment. And a lot of people don't know that. Even veterans don't realize that they can buy a house more than that. Right. It's not difficult for a veteran to buy $1 million house because most of them that are shopping in that price range have some money from a previous sale or something like that. So please don't forget that, and if you have any questions, ask one of the loan officers. I want to just remind you again about our Loan Now app. The response has been phenomenal from agents who have taken the time to get the app from one of their loan officers and get it downloaded on their phone. It allows the customer a very easy way to apply online. The agents get updates throughout the process automatically right to their phone to let you know where the loan is in process so you don't have to make a phone call. If you do, it's just a push of a button. It's also a co-branded app for you, so it's something you can share with your clients, and we can customize and put links on the homepage of the app for you so that you can direct them to your website, to your searches, or whatever you would like. And I'm actually right now in the beta testing to allow the borrowers to electronically sign all their documents for the loan application right on the phone, too.
Ooh,
so that's coming.
I like that. Nice.
And we're also looking at some other things to even enhance that further. So there may be more coming to that next year.
Great. And Phil, on the VA thing, sorry, before you move forward, and the funding fee is 2%? And you can get that financed?
Well, the funding fee, so on a VA loan, the veteran has what's called a VA funding fee. So a first-time VA loan user, it's 2.15%.
And they can get it from the seller?
That can be applied. So, but on a VA funding fee, if it's going to be paid, it can be financed, or you can pay it up front, but it has to be all paid. You can't pay part of it. You have to pay it all up front or finance the whole thing. If they're a subsequent user, in other words, they've already done one VA loan, it's 3.3%. However, if they put 5% in down payment, and in that scenario we were talking about, if it's a higher price loan, if they put 5% down, that drops it to 1.5%. If they put 10% down, it drops to 1.25%. So I always recommend to a veteran who's a subsequent user to try to put at least 5% down because it's more than 50% reduction in what they have to pay for a funding fee. And finally, if they're at least 10% disabled, there's no VA funding fee.
Nice.
So,
good.
Okay.
That's the way it should be.
Yep. And last thing, I wanted to remind you or let you know that we're working with Sarah Moorman on a kind of an enhanced open house program. We have a lot of loan officers who are willing to come and sit with you at your open house and be there as a resource to help borrowers get qualified when they're coming to visit the house. They might walk in and then walk out thinking, there's no way I can buy this. Well, we have people that are willing to come and spend time with you at your open houses. And so we're working with Sarah, and we'll come up we're doing that right now. We're working on enhancing that program a little and helping you out. Bud wanted me to remind
That's
you
huge.
about that.
I would have a loan officer with me in my open house. I'll tell you that.
And last but not least, again, just happy holidays to everybody. I just wish you a very Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, or Kwanzaa, or whatever else you celebrate.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you, Phil. Again, that's Phil Denfeld. Phil Denfeld, fellas. And I tell you, I had a great, everybody loved the business planning you guys did. We videoed it. It's up on the Nest. A lot of people have talked a lot about it. You guys did a great seminar on business planning. So you guys know if you go on the Cardinal Nest and you go up into the search, you can put things like business planning and click that in, and you'll see that seminar come up along with any other seminar we've done on business planning. But I've heard a lot of great stuff about that meeting you guys did. Good stuff.
I have some of those books still in my office, so if you have not done your business planning and you want to watch the session online, feel free to come by my office. I have those books in a box on my floor. Just grab one and go.
I'll tell you what, if I was coming in this company and I wanted to really succeed, I'm sitting down with you, and I'm going to get a one-on-one plan working together and get going in the right. I'm not kidding. I will be happy to meet with you. And I tell you, I'm a little busy, but no, I'm dead serious. I mean, really, what other companies got these people that you can go in and sit down with who not just a teacher, she's done $10 million every year of her own business. So she's not just teaching you something that isn't going to happen. She does it. She puts it to action every month. So I tell you, what a great gift you have in this Sarah Moorman to sit down and help you with a business plan. Great gift. What a great gift. I mean that. I mean that, Sarah. What a great gift you were to this company. I mean that sincerely.
Put a bow on you later, Sarah.
Somebody gave me a wonderful hat. It is a Christmas hat, and it blinks Christmas lights. And I love this hat, and nobody will own up to who gave it to me. It's in my office, and I will have it on at our holiday luncheon over here. So if you gave it to me, please tell me, because I do love it. And I've been wearing it all the time.
Thank you. You know, I'm glad you kind of mentioned that. There is a lunch and gift exchange, I think, at the end for just a luncheon for the staff of Sampson and Cardinal. So if you see it all going on over there, we want to make sure that at least that the staff gets all their food first. Okay, make sure that they get, because it really is a party. And how do you say this nicely? Because you all are my people, my family. But this is really for the staff. They've got to.
It was put on
by
Deb and the agents, so the ones that organized this all. It was so nice. Mary Crow, Deb Gorham, and the rest of you that helped. It's very nice of you. That's very.
Yep, it really was. Thanks, Deb. I mean, what a nice thing you guys did for the staff. I really appreciate that. Because, you know, I have had a lot of people tell me that they come here just because the staff is so nice. So we really do have a great staff here, a great group of people. They're very nice, very helpful. So thank you for putting that on. I really appreciate that. That means a lot to them to know that they're loved like that. So thank you. Thank you. Yes. First Heritage, that's right, because First Heritage, yeah. Oh, geez, Louise. I tell you, good point, Audrey. I don't know if you guys, for those of you that came last Thursday night, First Heritage had their party at International Country Club, and I'll tell you what, out of the 300 people there, I think we had 150 of them, didn't we? It was. I want to thank them for really throwing our Christmas party for us. I mean, it was great, but it was a lot of fun to see all the First Heritage people, and it was a great party, great food, great drink, great friends. It was a lot of fun. Had a lot of good dances with a lot of the girls around here. It was a lot of fun. My wife was very nice. She didn't mind me, dancing with all the girls. It was great. I love it. I can't wait till next year.
I just want to add to that. If you want an invite to the First Heritage Christmas party, do a deal with the First Heritage loan officer.
There you go. I'll tell you.
That's how it works. It's our way of saying thank you for using us, and all of our loan officers invite all the real estate agents that refer business to them throughout the year to say thank you.
Thank you very much, Bill. Thank you. That's a great party. You don't want to miss that party, man. That's a good one. So thank you. Good, Audrey. Thank you. First Heritage threw that off. All right, Donnie, let's, what do we got next?
So a couple of things I have. One.
Here we go.
The 30-second spiel.
These you got emailed about it, but there are new ones back there. But first, 210, there's a new 210 warranty. 2 or 3 small differences I'll go over real quick. One, Supreme Protection, which you know, you can either add or not add. That is all included in there in the price. The seller warranty, which we've always talked about, you should always get your seller coverage. It's free, right? You know,
Right.
you can put a list of
Why not?
warranty through 210 on your listing for free. Doesn't have to be converted to a warranty once they purchase. Well, the only thing you had to pay for before was that $70 for heating and air coverage if you wanted it. Well, it's now $50 instead of $70, and there's no exclusions. Before they had a couple things that weren't covered, so know that that's in there as well. Yes, the washer and dryer weren't covered before. The other thing that I would say that was interesting to me is they've got a home lock and hardware part of their warranty now, which means this. So you buy a new house, right? A lot of times you might want to rekey it because you don't know who's, yeah, you got one or two keys at closing, but who else has got keys running around? Well, apparently if you have a 210 warranty now, all you do, if you have a locksmith come in and switch that out, if you send in your receipt, they'll give you back up to $150 just for having the warranty. So you can pay for $150 of the
Nice.
warranty right off the get-go. I thought that was a really cool feature because, you know, a lot of people are like, I want to rekey it, but it's $100, $200. Well, if you can get $150 of it paid for right away, all you got to do is send the receipt. That was kind of one perk to me that I'd be like, it's a cool thing. And it sounds cool when you're giving that warranty to your buyer, client, or whatever, that you can add that in there. So I thought that was a cool feature I thought I'd bring up.
I do like that. That's a good feature.
So you should have got these in your email. I will work on getting them uploaded and updated in all the systems, but the paper ones are over there as well. The next thing, Leslie, if you could bring up the Nest for me. So two things on the Nest that I want to point out on the dashboard. Well, three things. Go to the dashboard first here. Okay, if you scroll down to the middle, one thing keep going. Okay, right here, Samson Cares. So if you click there, well, one, just remind you the great philanthropic efforts of us in Samson Cares. But two, we get to the end of the year. If you're like me, sometimes you're talking to your tax person, you want some kind of write-off, you want to spend some more money to write off. Well, there is a one-time link up there that if you click that and make a donation to Samson Cares, it will give you that receipt, and you can't claim that on this year's taxes if you're looking for more write-offs in any kind of way. And it's obviously going to a great cause. We're pooling all of our money that people are donating per commission or on a one-time basis. And in the first quarter, we're hoping to have our first big Generosity Feeds party where we call the realtors out, serve. Our goal is 20,000 meals to the community and make all those. So more to come as we're piling up all our money there, but wanted to show you that one-time link in case you weren't aware of where that was, that you could get a tax write-off this year if you want to write that in the next 10 days. If you go back to the dashboard, Leslie. So on the Front Door podcast, some of you guys have seen emails about that, but you might not know about it. If you click Listen Now, it shows all the episodes of the podcast that I've taped. Well, last week I had the Director of Broker Relations, Zach Shabbat, in from Zillow. We had it was probably an hour and a half, 2-hour interview. Part 1's up there now, but it kind of pulls back the cover. I got 25 questions from all of you. So we really dove into kind of some of the major topics that people are, about Big Bad Zillow. And he was real, honest, and people can have their opinions plus or minus, but we really kind of dove back, and he told a lot of Zillow's rationale on things, how things work, and so it was good. So the first part's up there now. If this is the first time you're seeing our podcast page, there's 11 different episodes and lots of awesome content in there. With some of our top agents talking about how to get listings, how to do open houses, how to get buyer clients. So we've got lots of great interviews on there. So I want to make sure everybody knew where to find that resource. So you can click there and listen to them on your computer. It's actually also, if you're a podcaster, if you go into your podcast app and you type in Samson Properties, you get us coming up, and all of a sudden I'm listening to myself in the car. It's a little weird. But, you can only listen to yourself talk for so long. All right, that's enough. I need somebody else. But I want to make sure you're aware of where that resource was and the latest, best interview that we just did with the Zillow rep. The last big one I'll show you is, a couple changes. We sent an email out, I think it came from Doris or Samson Marketing, our contractors. So we really want to bulk up this section. I mentioned it maybe a month or so ago. So we are taking all your contractor suggestions, as long as they're licensed and insured, and you can vouch for them. You can email all those into Doris, and we will add, there's a form that they have to fill out, so we have all their information. We will add all those contractors into the Nest in the appropriate areas, because what we want is, if you need an electrician in Haymarket, we want you to be able to go in there and find some electricians that your colleagues went. You know, now obviously you can throw out a question or what, but we want it to be easy for you. We want to have a great library where you click on there and you click home inspectors, and you've got the 10 recommendations from this company, what areas they work, and then you can kind of figure out where you want to go from there. So we are bulking that up big time. But
yeah, Donnie, can I say something real quick, or are you still going? Go ahead.
I am still going, but you can.
Well, I was going to say, the first wave that we asked, I know it's tough when we just asked you cold to send somebody, but the next email that's going to go out, we're going to actually send out all the categories and show where the holes are, and hoping that that'll maybe spur a thought or somebody that you may think of. You know, if we have 10 different, I don't know, industries that are missing, we're hoping you guys will see it and say, hey, wait a minute, I got an accountant or a whatever. So that's coming soon.
Okay.
Now that we've got
that's
this
coming
first
out.
one.
Look for that. Please help us with that. We want
help
to
us fill in the gaps.
Because we want to fill in the gaps. You guys are doing a great job of helping to fill it, but we want to fill that in. So good, Bobby. That we're gonna send where we've got some holes right now. But a couple of things that you'll see on here that are brand new today. If you go back to the dashboard, in case you've got somebody that wants to be more part of our gold sponsorship, so you're gonna see gold sponsor in here. Well, we're not doing it to make a ton of money, but we want to kind of segment people that want to spend a little bit of money to be extra getting in front of you guys. And we're making sure we vet them. They're good people. They're referred. But they can have ads on this side of the desk of the Nest so that you can see kind of our top contractors there. Then if you click contractors, they're going to get pretty little tags that say gold sponsor and a little gold flag. So they're going to jump to the top of people's searches. So if you've got, you know, your home inspector, like, wow, there's 20 on there. Well, if they really want that extra something so that they're kind of seen more, we do have a gold sponsor available.
How much is that, Donnie? Do we know?
It's $100 a month is what we're charging to be a gold sponsor. The other opportunity, Les, is, you know, if you want to do classes or meet with any of our people, then, you know, that we want
But you have to be a gold sponsor to do that, right?
gold sponsor to do that, yes. So it gives you more visibility in here. If you search for any kind of, like if you clicked home inspector, if there was any gold sponsors, they would jump to the top. So if people want more visibility, now look, we're not in the business of selling contractors, but if you've got a contractor that you're like, that they're like, look, because I get the emails all the time. You know, you guys, I get 5 or 10 a week. My home inspector really wants to do this. Look, I'm sure they're all great. I love them, but at some point we have to delineate. Okay, well, who gets to be in here and who doesn't, and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, if they've got somebody that really does want to kind of partner with Samson and get more involved with us, you know, the gold sponsorship gives them more visibility there, more visibility on the side. It does give them the ability to come in and talk to us every once in a while if they want. Not in this meeting time, because this is sacred to us. This is our stuff where we only let, you know, our great partners at First Heritage and Cardinal come in. But you know, if they want to talk to us in other avenues, that's how
they can do the show after 11.
Yes, or other days. You know, some people are like, well, I want to teach a class on Tuesday, or I want to come at 11:30 on Wednesday. Those are where we open that up to people that really want to partner with us on a more of an ongoing basis. So, right.
Good. All right. Anything else on that, D?
Okay. So then, no, I don't know if you were going to close up or you're going to go to Mac. That was what I had next.
Then you want to go to Mac then?
Yes. No, that was going to be for after.
No, we want Mac to have
you got bumped in front of that.
We keep bumping you every week. We want to get you in here, buddy. Yeah, man, Mac. You're the man, baby. Save the best for last.
All right, so this one's going to be quick, but I know a lot of you out there take pictures at closing, so one of the things, and you post them on Facebook and other social media stuff, so one of the things we've started doing a little bit here, we hope to ramp it up more if you start doing this, is we want you to start tagging Cardinal Title Group on Facebook when you post it. It's pretty easy, and I can definitely show you in person, too.
So first of all, before we get there, Cardinal Title Group has a Facebook page.
Yes.
And Samson Properties does. We would love for you to like both of them so that you're in the know and you're seeing things and they're getting action out there. We want to make it more of a public presence on Facebook out there. So first job when you leave, because I know I'm friends with 80% of you, go to your Facebook page, like Cardinal Title Group, and like Samson Properties first. Yes.
Yeah, and I get the closing list already, so I've kind of been stalking people's feeds to see if they've been posting the pictures and sharing them. But if you tag it, it's even better because it gives you a a little more exposure there as well too. So if you don't know what tagging is, it's just when you hit the little @ button like you would in an email, and then you can start typing in Cardinal Title Group, and then it would pop up there, and then you just select it.
I think it only does though if you like us already. Like if you
Not
started,
sure.
it will. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it will come even more if you like us.
Yeah, exactly.
They'll
Just-
start to know that that's
Yeah.
the way you do things.
But really, that's all we really want you to do is especially if you close at Cardinal, don't do it if you're not closing at Cardinal.
Yeah, forget everything I just said. Don't tag other title.
Yeah. But if you're closing at Cardinal, we'd love to see you tag Cardinal on there just so we can then share it. I kind of make an effort to go look for them too, because I can see you closed yesterday. But if you tag it, it helps you out and it helps us out even more too. And if you
Good.
need help with that, I can always show you. It's pretty easy in person.
You know, and then it's getting on the Sampson page, it's getting on the Cardinal
Yeah.
page, and you know, we're creating this community where a lot of times what I see is, you know, I think Tila may have done one the other day, and then Cardinal shared it, and you know, you got a bunch of
Go ahead.
Was it
Might be
somebody else?
thinking different.
Oh,
Might be thinking
might be. I might be thinking of somebody else. But there was definitely one that was posted up there, and then like 3 or 4 people were like, "Oh, congrats, Tila!" You know, and you kind of. I'm hoping it creates more of a community within us too, because you know, I might be friends with Audrey, but I might not be. So if she posted something, went to Sampson and Cardinal, then I see, "Oh, Audrey got a good sale, congrats!" You know, so a lot of us want to cheer each other on and build a better community. We can do that more if you're tagging Sampson and Cardinal, so we're more likely to see those posts that come up in our feed continually, and we can congratulate each other and join in each other's successes.
Good.
That's all I got from there.
All right, good, D.
And then the coming soon one, it's getting
It's
a
probably
little.
whack. It's probably very weak now.
It's getting a little low, but I know everyone's got listings coming on in January, so send those to me, please.
Yeah, yeah, send those out now. Because the other thing is, what's the biggest problem right now? Right now, if you got a buyer, there's not a ton of inventory, right? Not a lot of people are like, "I'm putting my house in the market December 21st." Well, if you know you've got those things coming January and February, to Mac's point, get them to Mac now. We can create a great coming soon board for January, February, March, because you've got those buyers that might be frustrated. They're like, "I really want to buy a house in South Riding, but there's nothing, literally 0 single families on the market." Well, you might say, "Well, in my company, I've got 6 coming." You might be able to start a conversation with Sarah over there. I'm sure she's got a couple.
Good
under,
point.
she's got a couple under her hat that she's not telling anybody
Good
about.
point. Good point.
You know, so let us know all those coming soons right now that you've got signed listing agreements on, so we can start to create a community and you've got some inventory and can provide some value to your buyer clients in this next month when they don't have a lot to look at. You can say, "Well, I've got these. I can negotiate. Maybe you can even get them in early and take a look at something."
And I'm going to tell my seller that I'm going to fish in our company for 2 weeks before we even hit the market.
Right.
And we got 2,000 agents that are going to be looking at this before it even hits the market. That might be something to help you get the listing.
And
that's something that you do that not everybody else can do.
And just because I know I say things, but not everybody remembers everything I say, on the Nest, Leslie, the coming soon board is on the dashboard on the bottom right. It's on the homepage, probably right above where I just showed you the ad was. So the coming soon board's right there where you can click view listings and see whatever we've got. So it's right there, easy to find if you're ever trying to help your buyers out. So what we need for that to be useful is for everybody to send in their stuff. You know, whatever listings you got, send them in. We'll create a much better board. Mac will make sure it gets down on time and all that kind of stuff. But but definitely let's use that a lot in this upcoming spring. We didn't really adapt this till we were almost kind of missed the spring summer rush last year. So it's a great time now coming into the spring to make sure we're using this to our best advantage to help each other create more deals that the buyers couldn't find in the spring.
Mac, if you could do a quick video on how to tag, I know it's a simple little thing, but those are the types of things, the videos that I want to post on the morning announcements, because we're always looking to change and have good content on the morning announcements. But they can watch a quick 1-minute video on you on how to tag something, and I think they'd like that. It'd benefit them. So I'd appreciate that. Whenever you want to shoot little videos on how to do stuff, just to have the new content constantly coming onto the site.
Can
I made a
ask,
joke to him.
Is there a section for rentals, or can you put that in there?
We can add that in there, yeah.
You can add a rental in there. That's fine.
Okay, because we're going to have a rental that's going to sit off the market till snow goes.
No commercial, though.
We don't have any commercial in there, but you can do rentals as well.
We have Sarah and
Tula.
Tula.
Yes.
Sarah and Tula.
Oh, and Mike made it in. He made himself out of traction.
We are ready to go.
Sarah and Tula, come on up.
You guys are ready to go. So we have Sarah Petcher and Tula Gross, correct? Okay. And they are great lawyers that are going to talk about team building and teams and legalese and all that. So I hope you guys want to stay. Donnie and I are done. Thank you so much for everything. I love you. Thank you for Cardinal Title and First Heritage. Thank you, everybody. All right. Sarah, Tula, great to see you. Thank you for coming. Thank you. Good to see you again. Thank you. Do you want to mic them?
Is this mic on?
Handhelds.
Is this on?
Yes.
This one's on. This one's on? Hey, you guys, can you hear me? All right, everybody, let's give our attention up here. Hey, for those of you who don't know, Sarah Petcher and Tula, I'm just going to give a real quick further introduction. For those of you who don't know, Sarah was general counsel at NVAR for, I don't even know. My old friend Sarah Petcher was general counsel at NVAR for a bunch of years, and I don't know how many years. She was a real asset to our organization for a lot of years. Excuse me. Then she decided to connect up with her old friend Tula Gross, who is also a really good friend of Carrie Lindsay's, and they started S&T Law Group in Falls Church, and this is going to be a fun session, so hope you stick around.
Thank you. Yeah, absolutely.
Everybody can see it. We want everybody to see it.
The only thing we don't do is stand on desks or sit on a stool. You don't have enough umbrella liability.
And what we'll do is maybe we should bring everybody over to here.
That's a great
Yeah,
idea.
come on down. Come on down.
We're nice. We don't bite. We showered this morning.
You did?
Yeah, special treat.
All right.
Okay, so good morning.
If you have a stack of extras, I'm going to grab the extras. Thank you, ma'am.
First one is a statutory change.
Sarah, hold on one second.
Yep.
Is your green light on?
I thought it was. No, it's not. Look at me. It's red. There we go. Is this better? Can you now hear me? I apologize for that. Yeah, now people out there can hear me. So in January 1 of this year, there are new regulations that kick in that affect you if you are on a team or if you are an individual but have, for lack of a better word, incorporated yourself. So you are Tula Gross doing, as a real estate agent, Tula Gross, but Samson pays you to Tula Gross LLC. In those two situations, these rules changes kick in and apply to you. So do you guys know when usually statutes change in Virginia? When does a law change in Virginia? July 1st of every year. So this one is a little different, right? So the law kicked in July 1st, but they delayed implementation to January 1 to give you all time, for lack of a better words, to get your ducks in a row, right? And get yourself settled and prepared so that when January 1 comes, you can proceed and be in compliance. So you should have in front of you a handout. This handout is meant for you to be, it's a cheat sheet, it's a to-do list. These are the steps you need to follow to get yourself in compliance by January 1. We will email a copy of that to Mike, so Mike can email it out to all of those of you who are watching us through the internet. Tula's going to do the definitions of what qualifies.
So I'm going to back up just for a moment and talk about what the purpose. Can you hear me? Is this on?
Yeah, it's on.
Okay. So the purpose of the legislation is because, like most things that happen in the real estate industry in our area, practices start up that are a little bit outside of the usual, and there aren't really regulations. Sometimes there aren't forms, but we do what we do to get through our transactions. One of those things that came up in recent years is the evolution of teams and the popularity of teams. And in Virginia, there had not been any regulation of what that meant. As far as how you looked, how you organized, how you licensed, if it was different than the normal salesperson or broker license. And this is now catching up with a process for what teams are supposed to do and how they're supposed to behave, at least as far as DPOR is concerned. So the reason for the legislation is because if you drive through neighborhoods, you will start to see listing signs and directionals with team names on them that do not contain an actual licensed person's name. So our great example is, if Sarah and I were a real estate team, we decided that we would be the greatest team on earth. Okay, so that's our name. We are the greatest team on earth, and that's all you see on our signs. If you go to DPOR's website and you search the greatest team on earth, you will not find us. And that's a problem for the public. And so the reason for this legislation, and to help it make sense to you and realize it's really just a process to get you organized in DPOR's system, is that you should be able to Google the greatest team on earth and click related licenses and see our 2 licenses as being related to that team. That is the entire purpose of this checklist. Okay, so understand that it really is a public protection, and this is just a means of getting there. The legislation now requires that if you are a team or an entity, you have issued to you what is called a business entity salesperson license. All of the steps that we're about to describe to you are for the sole purpose of being able to fill out all of the fields on that license. You cannot complete that license form without doing all of the things on our checklist. So we're going to walk you through the process. So we'll start at the beginning with what a definition of the team is as far as Virginia legislation is concerned. So it is 2 or more individuals, at least one of whom is licensed. So it can be a licensed person, either with a broker's license or an individual salesperson's license, and an unlicensed assistant, a transaction coordinator, somebody else that works with them as their team. They work together as a unit within the same brokerage firm, represent themselves to the public as working together as one unit, and designate themselves by a fictitious name. So again, the greatest team on earth, or something else, or if you're an entity. All of these will trigger the new requirements.
So let's give some examples, right? So Sarah and Tula work together, right? Tula is the licensee. I'm the unlicensed assistant, okay? Which, by the way, describes our relationship really well. So she's the licensee. I'm the unlicensed assistant. And Tula goes around and says, hi, I'm Tula Gross. I'm a real estate agent with Sampson Properties, right? Does she have to go through all these hoops? What do you think? No, right? Because she presents herself as just Tula Gross. Even though she's got an unlicensed assistant, that's fine, right? So now how about if she presents herself and says, same scenario, Tula Gross, unlicensed assistant, right? And she goes and she presents herself as Tula Gross and Tula Homes. Right? Now does she qualify, does she have to abide by these rules? Yes, right? Because she's using a fictitious name. She's making herself look as more she's making herself look as more than little old Tula, right? Now, if it's both of us are licensed. Let's switch the example a little bit. Both of us are licensed, right? And we advertise as Tula Gross and Sarah Luke Petcher. Do we qualify? Do we fall under these regulations? So all our advertising saying listing by Tula Gross and Sarah Luke Petcher. Do we fall under these?
No.
So it would seem like that would be a clear answer. Mike, you're not allowed to talk unless you're asking questions. So it would seem that the clear answer to that would be no. But it's safe to say it falls into somewhat of a gray area. And here's why. Because if all your advertising is as Tula Gross and Sarah Luke-Petcher, then does that bunch of words constitute a fictitious name? And I don't think it does, but because it's a new statute, we have no idea how it's going to be interpreted. So just a word of caution on that one, okay? How about if we advertise, we see this very often, as Sarah and Tula. Then what? Do we qualify? We have to get through all this, right? Because Sarah and Tula, not our license names. Our license names are Tula Gross and Sarah Luke-Petcher, okay? So you have to parse it out and really think it through. So if you fall in one of those scenarios, then these rules apply. These rules also apply, remember we talked about this when we started, that if Tula Gross just advertises as little old Tula, right, but Samson cuts her commission check to an LLC or an S-Corp or any other business entity, then that entity is going to need to be licensed by January 1.
And another reason that this makes sense is if you know your regulations, you know that commissions can only be paid to a licensed individual or a licensed entity. So if you're taking commissions as an entity, if you're operating as a team, it makes sense that it needs a license. So keep in mind, once you're done with all of this, just a reminder that you may end up with 2 different licenses. You're going to have your individual license, whether it's a salesperson license or a broker's license, and you're going to have a license for your entity. So each renewal cycle, you're going to have to pay attention to both of those renewals.
Okay.
Next?
Yep.
You're switching it on.
Yeah. Come on, keeping you on your toes. What are we doing next?
Business entities. No, I think that's it.
Okay. So what do you do? So the first step is if you're a team, and you qualify, you know you're going to need to satisfy these requirements, your first call is to a CPA. And the first call is to a CPA to figure out what kind of business entity you're going to become. Are you going to become an LLC? Are you going to become a corporation? If you're a corporation, how are you going to be taxed? If you're an LLC, how are you going to be taxed? Do you want to start a general partnership? You need to have that resolved. And all of it depends on the amount of money you make and how each of the partners are positioned with whether they have W-2 income at home from the other partner, or it's all a detailed look at how your money flows through your family and through your business. Your CPA will make a recommendation. I have to tell you, about 90% of the work we've been doing has been forming LLCs. But that doesn't mean that that is what works for you. I think when you become a certain size and you start having employees and cutting W-2 rather than 1099, then the scenarios sort of morph, right? But what kind of business entity you form is 100% dependent on the kind of tax treatment you need and tax benefit you want to maximize. So that's your first call, okay? What's your second step?
So then you're going to go to the SCC website. SCC is Virginia State Corporation Commission, and you're going to make sure. For a sole proprietor, you have to be registered with the circuit court, right, as a fictitious name because you're practicing as an entity. So if you're a sole proprietor, there is still a step. And if you look at the DPOR application, it actually gives you a lot of guidance. So depending on what entity type you're going to be, it will tell you which attachments you have to have. So it'll actually walk you through the process. But you're going to go to the State Corporation Commission's website, and you're going to check to see if your business name is available. So keep in mind the entire state of Virginia just formed teams to comply with this if they were doing the right thing. And so if you are the Smith team, you may be competing with other Smith teams somewhere in the Commonwealth that wanted that name. So just keep in mind you want to first check to make sure that the name that you would like is available. Then you're going to go to the IRS website. You're going to have an EIN issued for that entity. Even if you're a sole proprietor, you can do that so that you're not using your Social Security number on business-related documents, so you'll do that.
And do me a favor, make sure that the name that you searched on the State Corporation Commission website matches exactly the name that you get the EIN issued in. And I mean exactly, comma, periods, exactly.
And so consistency is key. So you hear us hitting this, and it's because we've been sort of in the weeds with this for several months now, and all of this is important. So you heard me say check for your name on the SEC website, but you didn't do anything else there yet. You checked, you made sure it was available, you've gone to the IRS, you've had your EIN issued. Your EIN letter now becomes the driving force for all of your other paperwork, because we recommend that you be as consistent as you can possibly be now with that entity name. So take the letter that was emailed to you by the IRS, you look at the name exactly the way that you've typed it, and you now type that into the SEC's website and register your entity and have it created. If you're doing all of this yourself, these are all the steps you're going to take. If you hire, you can certainly have an attorney do all of this work for you. After you have it formed, if the name that you have now registered, so let's use me as an example. Well, we use the Greatest Team on Earth. We are the Greatest Team on Earth, LLC. And so that's what we've created at the SEC. But we don't want to advertise with the LLC. It's a little cumbersome. It doesn't look nice in our logo. We've decided not to use it. Because now we are going to be advertising and doing business as a name that is not identical to the way we've created it with the SEC, we have to file a simple piece of paper with the local circuit court with a $10 fee that's called a fictitious name affidavit. So you're used to the method of getting your DBA through DPOR. So if you don't practice under your full legal name, but you're licensed that way, you get a DBA. This is how you get a DBA for your business. It's with the form at the circuit court. So I'm going to file a fictitious name affidavit that lets us do business as the Greatest Team on Earth. No LLC.
And drop the LLC.
Drop the LLC in the advertising. Mike?
Do you want to wait on questions?
Nope.
Or
No,
can we chime in?
Bring them on.
So, on the DBA, a lot of people, including myself, when I did it, got a DBA of my own name on the business entity license. Is that necessary or not? You know, like, because you're going to all retain your existing salesperson license or associate broker license.
Right.
So, if you've got the greatest team on earth doing business as Tula Gross, or no, you don't need to worry about that.
You continue to have the ability to practice under your licensed name.
Okay.
You will be able to practice under all your license names, right? So you can have multiple identities.
And Susan, I think, spoke to the sole proprietor. I think there was some confusion with folks that they had to get a corporation or an LLC in order to have a business entity license for their team. That's not necessarily the case, right?
That is not, if you are a team that is structured as one person at the top and a bunch of minions underneath, with all due respect for the minions, you know what I'm saying, right? So it's the Sarah team, right?
And I'm a buyer's agent on the Sarah team.
And she's a buyer's agent on the Sarah team, but has no ownership of the Sarah team.
And she's named on the business entity license.
She's named, but with
team.
no ownership interest.
Right, Sarah's the sole proprietor, and I'm listed as having a license that is related to her entity.
So I'm the only owner of the team, then a sole proprietorship is okay.
Even though both of you are marketing as a team.
That's correct. It's all about ownership of the entity.
So let me back up, because this is a really important point that Mike has brought up. Nothing in this legislation is intended to tell you how to run your business, or that you must make members of your team owners of your team, or that you must be an LLC. All of this tells you is that you have to be organized in some way in order to get this business entity license, and you need to make business decisions from there. So it absolutely doesn't mean that you make all of the members of your team owners and members of your LLC. You can absolutely, if you really are a one-owner team with team members underneath, you can certainly be a sole proprietor if you want to be. We just want your CPA to have that conversation with you to decide if they would prefer for you to be an LLC or an S corporation or something else for tax liability
So if it's two sisters or mom and daughter,
yeah,
and there's no corporate entity, but they're a team, and so they don't both need business entity licenses.
The entity needs a business entity
Just
license.
one.
Right. So we've gotten this question a lot. If you're two partners, you can't do two LLCs because only one can have the name that you're advertising under. So there's got to be
We have a lot of that, right?
Yeah.
And there's tons of people.
So let's backtrack
a way to get there.
Let's backtrack a little bit, okay? Let's just make sure we're clear. It all depends on how you want the team itself to be owned, the entity to be owned. So even if you have a mother-daughter team, but you're okay with only one of the people owning the entity, then knock yourself out and have a sole proprietorship. But just understand that only either mama or daughter will own the entity. So if they split up because Thanksgiving didn't go well,
We've had this
only one person ends up owning the name of the team. If you have a 2-person group and you want both owning part of the team, then sole proprietorship will not work because you're not sole, you're now 2. Right?
Anybody with questions? I've got a microphone.
well-
we hang on one second.
Hold
Just
on,
a minute.
let's take the question in the red.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to say, what about husband and wife?
So there are no exemptions.
No exemptions.
And we've had some really interesting conversations where they
Yeah.
they wanted to elect one or the other. That's the scenario. How are you going to stay together? If you're going to stay together, you're fine until you're not. So.
So, I mean, but these are uncomfortable conversations we have to have with clients, which is, yeah, you can have a wife be the sole proprietor and just have the team in only the wife's, with the wife as the sole proprietor, but God forbid something happens on the way to heaven, then the team goes with the wife. You don't, that's not something the husband can take.
You've been waiting. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay. What we just did this, and Mike made me call DPOR. Okay. So we're both sole proprietors, and I went to go at the clerk's office, put both our
Yep.
names, and they said nope,
Nope.
and they whited one out.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. And so, but DPOR said it was fine to stick both of us, I guess what you're saying, as under the business entity.
Because one of you owns the sole proprietorship and one of you is just a related license.
We're both sole proprietors, and the
Then
accountant
then
was
you have
okay
2
with that.
entities. Then you have 2
No, he
entities.
said it was okay, because I talked to him at length, and there's a list at the bottom of who is considered part of that.
That's right, but that doesn't own the team.
Only one of you
Well,
can
we're
be
not
the sole.
we're sisters. We
Right.
don't own the team. It's just our last names.
All I'm saying
Right.
is
Yeah.
whoever has that business entity license gets to keep it. So if the 2 of you decide that you don't like each other anymore, and one of you walks
and I'm
away,
ditching that name because I don't want to have her name associated with
then
me.
we're
right?
fine. But that's the limitation.
So part of this, I think, goes to whether you want to have ownership of the team. And one of the things these 2 ladies do, if I may dare say so, is they help agents form team agreements.
Yeah.
Right? So team agreements are good, even if you're sisters or mother-daughter, whatever, a team agreement. So that would go to team ownership, right?
That's correct. That's correct.
But you don't have to have it. Like,
No, you don't have to have one. You don't have an operating agreement. Yep.
I have an LLC. My sister and I are partnering, and I've had my LLC for a while now. So what would happen? So I'm the owner. I understand that part. So she's not going in it because there has to be one owner. But then what happens as far as liability?
So there doesn't just have to be one owner. You and your sister can agree
No,
that
but
she.
if as it is set, you have one owner and one team member. Right. Right? Your sister.
Right.
Right? She
Right.
works under your umbrella.
Okay, but that's
Right?
because that's,
So if she decides tomorrow that she's going to discriminate against polka dotted people because that's a good business model, right? And she gets sued, the LLC will get sued also.
Right.
And then becomes your liability.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Sole liability, not joint liability.
Right.
Right.
But yet, she
Yeah,
and I are.
understand.
Oh.
That's how you chose to form yourself, right? That's some of the concern of having one head when you're really talking about 2 heads.
Right. Okay, I get that.
Yeah.
But
and then-
LLCs, wait, just to interject though, LLCs can have multiple members, and it's the
Yeah.
beauty of them. So if you need to have a conversation with your sister about whether you want her to join as a member of your, so those are the conversations. There's no right or wrong answer. These are business conversations.
I mean,
that
you
need
can
to
actually have more than, because I can go back and say, I'm the president, I'm the owner,
Yep.
but you're the vice president.
That's right.
And then that's okay.
You can
yeah,
add
I
her
do
as a
get that.
member.
Okay, and then on that affidavit to change the name. So my LLC, it's KR Realty LLC, but you're saying that I would just need, just to confirm, an affidavit saying KR Realty Group.
That's right.
Okay. And then I can add the group and drop the LLC as long as it's on the affidavit.
That's correct. And
Okay,
it's been filed with the circuit court clerk, and then once you've had the certificate back from the court, filed with the State Corporation Commission, and then you got to update your business entity license. All these steps are on here.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Do
Bonnie.
Yep.
Yes.
Oh, a question about the fictitious name affidavit you file with the circuit court for $10. In our name, we use the word "and" or we use the ampersand.
Doesn't matter.
Okay, that doesn't matter.
And or ampersand substitute.
The and or ampersand don't matter, but yeah.
No, you're good.
Okay, thank you. That's good. That's great.
Another thing that comes into play is payment of commissions.
Yep.
And, far and away, if not exclusively, the teams in our company request that our accounting office pay commissions separately, individually to each licensee, and that's fine. Doesn't mean that because you have a team or, whether there's an LLC or corporation or not, but there's a team that the company has to pay commissions to the team.
Okay, but two things. Two things. First is if you set up a business entity as just a shell for compliance purposes with DPOR requirements, so no money flows through it, right? Commissions don't flow through it, expenses don't flow through it. You're going to have a really hard time if you get sued telling the judge the limits on my liability are the assets of the LLC. Because that judge is going to say, okay, what are the assets of the LLC? And you're going to say, oh, nothing. Right? So that's one of the problems, okay? The second problem is you can continue paying individuals, but if the individuals are working on a team and the team does not have a business entity salesperson license in place by January 1,
we're not paying them. Yeah.
Sampson may not cut commissions on Virginia transactions. Let me state that again. You want to get paid for Virginia transactions after January 1 and you're on a team, you'd better make sure that you as a team leader or your team leader has got this buttoned down by January 1. Otherwise, Sampson is prohibited from paying you your commission dollars.
And that's paying you individually or to the team, whatever you have set up.
Whatever you have set up.
No commissions.
No commissions. Have fun with that. Margaret.
So we are it kind of maybe a gray area, but we use our full names.
Yep.
We don't use a fictitious name.
Yep.
We've always had even separate photos.
Yep.
Now, all of a sudden, her fault, we have pictures together. Does that change our status?
So I think that we talked about this a little earlier. This puts you squarely in a gray area.
Mm-hmm.
And frankly, the answer to that question, it depends on your appetite for risk. Because I don't have a good answer for that one.
And you know me.
Yeah, I know you. So I'm happy to help you. Yes, sir.
Okay, so the question I have is on the DPOR business entity license salesperson application, the last page has that add your salespersons that are going to be on your team, but on the top part it says that are going to be paid through the LLC.
That's correct.
So I want to get clarification on that because as I have understood it, which is maybe wrong, is that we're not adding him to that, the team member to that spot because we're not paying him through the LLC. We're going to do the split on the commission
that is
Oh,
so
uh,
over here.
confusing.
It is confusing, and we don't know how DPOR is going to enforce this because keep in mind the purpose of the legislation is transparency and to link everybody's licenses. So if you don't put them on that form, they don't get linked for the public to find you. So our recommendation is if they're on your team and they advertise as your team, there is no harm at all in including their license number on that form. Because if DPOR decides that they'd like to now change that and enforce it, you won't have to play catch up. And if your business practices change and you do start paying through the team, you don't have to redo your paperwork. So there really isn't any harm.
Maybe they'll update that form. They'll modify
Well, but
it a
here's
little
the
bit.
the problem is that that form was created out of thin air by DPOR because the statute doesn't mention the fact that you don't have to list, you only have to list those who get paid through the team. That's nowhere in the statute.
Statute's silent on it, and so if they now enforce it to say
In
that
direct
it's required,
conflict of the intent for this whole
That
thing.
is in direct conflict of the intent. Right.
Exactly. So, right. And so we recommend that you even put your unlicensed, if somebody has a Virginia license, there's no harm in the caveat to that is remember that when you have a change on your team, if somebody comes or goes, you do have to update that with DPOR within 30 days.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
And I want to just clarity in it. You've probably already answered it.
anyone who advertises their name and they say team or they say
Group,
group,
realty, real estate.
then after January 1, they can no longer do that unless they have filed something
That's right.
and show that they are a team or they are a group. Is that correct?
Be licensed with the entity now has to have a license from DPOR. Okay. That's the bottom line.
Thank you.
It's not a mailing deadline. It is, yeah, it is
And
an
I'm going to make a
issuance
bet,
deadline.
folks. I don't usually do this. I don't usually have a crystal ball, but I'm pretty sure that you can take this statement to the bank. DPOR is not staffing up to process your applications that you send in late in December to get yourselves.
So get in line.
And this is a paper process.
And
This-
it's a
this is-
paper
it's a
process.
paper form that has to be signed by your broker and mailed with your check for $210 down to Richmond.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Yes, sir. In the blue shirt first. Back.
Watch January 1st. Your electronic forms provider will update all of them. That field is being added.
It's
Okay.
part of the statutory requirement is that in the brokerage agreements, your listing agreement and your buyer broker agreement, the name of the team will now be a required field.
Okay. As well as my personal name or
Licensed.
In Virginia. If you have Maryland licensed people or DC licensed people, they don't belong on this form.
Okay,
This is
okay.
Virginia
But
licensed
that's only
members.
if I hire an administrative assistant that's has a administrative real estate license.
That's
they can
right.
go on this here. And then can you tell me, and you may not be able to answer this, but how would they, okay, so my sister will go into this portion right here. How would she get paid? Like under KR Realty?
That's entirely up to
LLC?
you.
Like my
Samson can choose to pay your.
Oh,
you
okay,
can
so that
you
would
can choose to have Samson pay your entity, and then you split that up, or you can have Samson pay you directly and your sister directly. However you want to set that up.
Right, but well, my question is if they were to pay her directly, because she doesn't have, I mean, we have a KR Realty LLC check account already, but so she would just, how would that work? Do you know?
She'll just go in her personal account, just
and
like
then
it does now.
just like normal,
Yep.
even if it has a,
Yep.
okay, okay, all right.
Sir,
And
in the
you
green-
each get
in the green
1099
jacket, you had a-
separately from the company, of course.
Did you have a question? Oh, hi. Good morning. Oh.
This may be skipping forward a bit, but when it talks about the fictitious name certificate with the local court,
Yeah.
is there a way of checking to see if it was done way back when by
Yeah.
my accountant? Or
So you go to your local jurisdiction. So you Google fictitious name in whatever county.
Okay.
The website will pop up, and you can do a trade name search in any of those counties and online, and it'll pop up.
Thank you.
Or not.
Okay.
Yeah. Jenny, you had a
I
question?
have two questions. I had a sole propriety LLC, and in Virginia, I do have a license for that business. Now, just recently, I am licensed in DC and Maryland. If I have friends work with me as a team in DC and Maryland, do I need to list them as a team in the DPOR form?
Only
from
if they
my-
have Virginia salesperson or broker's licenses.
Only Virginia.
Only
license.
Virginia.
Now, if that person's licensed in Maryland, I don't have to add them. But if they license also in Virginia, then
You
I
have to add them. That's correct.
I got you. So when I first established,
And they're all in Samson, right?
Right.
Yeah.
right.
Okay.
When I first established my business, it's Genie Realty Services LLC, and it was in Virginia. But Maryland said that we're not
Can't do
able
that.
to use the
That's
realty.
right.
So should I change that? How does it affect?
You need to get a fictitious name in Maryland.
I had to get another one in Maryland.
You're going to have to register your LLC in Maryland and get a fictitious name, a different fictitious name for your team name.
And then
in
be
Maryland.
careful with your advertising
and then
in Maryland.
Be careful with your
So
advertising.
consistency is key. So for those who are multi-jurisdictional, Maryland does have team regulations. DC does not yet, but you know they're coming since DC since Maryland and Virginia have addressed them. So being consistent is a good recommendation.
So if I still only work with Samson mainly here in Virginia, do I have the need to, or I must change my name of the
So
business entity?
your problem is that your signs, you can have Virginia signs and Maryland signs to make yourself compliant. Your problem isn't your physical ads, your problem is your internet presence.
It's your website and your social media.
Because it'll have the word realty in it, and you can access that from Maryland, and Maryland's going to be like, oh, off with her head.
So if
That's what Maryland does.
I hear you. For advertisement, if I just like non-official, if I just do Samson Properties and a Genie, is that adequate? Or do
If
I
it's your
have to
license
change?
name, then it's fine. If you're not advertising as a team, if you're just using your
That's
license
fine.
name, then that's fine.
Just drop the realty.
Yeah.
because okay. I don't have to officially change it.
Nope.
It's too much
Yep.
issue. Thank you.
Anybody else? I saw some hands up. Yes, sir.
I remember now. Yeah, I'm back. Came back. So adding the, so I've already done everything that you said, except I did not add the team member.
Yeah.
He even went to a lawyer to get a
I
team
got all-
agreement.
So it's all done.
Congratulations.
Well, thanks, but I forgot to add my team member.
That's
so
okay.
That's
how
just an-
quick
there's
is
an
that? I
amendment
mean, I want to
form.
make sure that that's all.
Just get it done as
There's
soon
an
as
amendment
Just
form.
add 'em?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's on the
All right.
DPR website. Just mail it in. Yeah. Anything else on that?
You just made my day, by the way.
So
Thank you.
My question,
Yeah.
you're saying local circuit court, is that going to be, like, I'm affiliated with Chantilly, but my
Fairfax County Circuit Court.
So let's
but
talk
I
about that.
reside in-
So there's a technical answer.
Yeah,
and
okay,
then
I'm
the
ready for
answer
it.
that everybody's going to do. So we suggest that you, at a very minimum, file in the circuit court where your office address is. So we're in Fairfax still, right? We didn't get all the way.
Your
to Loudon.
license is issued
so
here.
if your license is in Fairfax County,
Even if you operate out of our Gainesville office, which is in Prince William County or whatever.
But
the
I'm,
off-
but I'm
the
not.
lic-
but
we're
I'm
not
not. But
talking
I'm
about
not done.
Samson.
Yeah, but I'm not done. So first and foremost, send it into the circuit court where your license hangs. So if your license hangs in Fairfax County, send it into the Fairfax County Circuit Court. If you also sell in Prince William and Loudoun and City of Alexandria and Arlington, the legal requirement is that you register that fictitious name with all the courthouses. Because remember what Sarah said, in order to be found, if you sell a house in City of Alexandria and you're using a different name than the SCC has, nobody can find you in the City of Alexandria unless you've registered there under your fictitious name. So it's $10 and a one-page form that you just have, you sign and had notarized. It's identical. You could just do 5 of them, stick them all in the mail, and you're done. People want to skip this, and I don't understand why. It's a handful of forms and $10 to each
And
clerk,
it's the
and you're
least
done.
burdensome.
And it's
of
not annual.
All the
It's a
steps.
one
Not
time.
annual. It's
a
one
one-time.
time, and you're done. It's a state
Nope, state
form,
form.
but each county will, if you go to their individual website, will give you their mailing address and all of that. They'll tell you if they give you a free certified true copy back, and if they do, you can give a self-addressed envelope, and they'll send you one back. Yep.
So
Each county.
Each
Yep.
county, each city.
And you can ask us all day long if you have to, and our answer is going to be yes, because that's the legal answer, and it's not burdensome. So
It needs to be, no, so the copy you get back from the clerk of court is going to be the copy you send to the State Corporation Commission.
Right.
Not if you have a sole proprietorship.
Right. Well, you have to send a certified true copy to the SCC. So if you want to also have a certified true copy in your files, you may want to get 2. But that's completely up to you. You have to have one to send down to the SCC for them to update your record.
Well, but they're a sole proprietorship, so they don't have an SEC record. So one is okay, keep a copy of it.
Team name. So what is the best
Can't
way
hear you.
to work on
Got
that?
talk in.
Sorry.
I don't think her microphone's working.
Yeah, I can repeat her question. So, but I don't know that I'm going to have to ask you. So she just transferred from Long and Foster, and wants to have somebody. She wants to team up with somebody that already has a team.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Are you joining as an owner, or are you just going to be an agent on the team?
An agent in the team.
So that the owner of the team needs
Okay.
to file the business entity license and list your license number. So when you're the member of a team, your job is to make sure that your team leader has done all of this. Yes, you have to update that form with DPR as people come and go from your
And
team.
that's before January 1st?
Yep.
It's within 30 days. If they've already filed it, it's within
Before
30.
January, by January 1st. If you
Right.
want to get paid, that's
To
easy.
add that member, to
Yes.
add me in her.
To add you to the team.
Okay. And the other option, if I wanna be like owner with her in the same team,
Then you need to change the entity.
The
Yeah,
entity.
you're
Oh.
now talking about doing an operating
Different
agreement for
thing.
the LLC.
Okay.
Those are business decisions.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
Bless you.
Bless you.
Yep.
So back to Maryland and D.C., although they have rules in place under Maryland Real Estate Commission, DLLR, et cetera, they don't have a business entity license like we have. But in order for our accounting office to pay any of you all that have a team, you need to register that name with the taxing authority. It's like a business license, right?
If the money flows through the business entity. 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 If the money flows throug If the money does not flow through the business entity, then you don't have to register.
Because we've been
that.
asking them, we've been requiring everybody to have a W-9 with that name, you know?
In
For
Maryland and
yeah,
DC, even
anything.
if they don't get paid through it.
Because we're told that they got to be registered with MDAT, right, in Maryland, Maryland Department of Assessment and Taxation, and DC, DCRA or whatever.
DCRA. You need to go talk back to your corporate.
So yeah, just be aware that if you get a license, if you have a team, REMA's going to be looking for a W-9, and she's going to want evidence that you're properly registered in Maryland and DC.
So are you all petrified yet? 'Cause, you know.
Can I just send them to you too, please?
I mean, we're happy to do the work, but please know that we're both going on vacation for Christmas. So, and
Good for
I
you.
love you all, but not skipping Christmas for you. So, we're
Can
happy
you talk
to
about
help.
team agreements real quick, like just a summary?
Yeah.
Like,
So,
how much time goes into creating a team agreement on average?
An extensive amount of time. So an operating agreement for one of those business entities, a lot of people call us and say, oh, we just want a simple agreement. And there's really no such thing as a simple agreement, right? Because you got to really sit down and think through how the money's going to flow. Because you get a team agreement, an operating agreement in place once you know the money is going to start flowing through the entity and you have more than one owner. So now you need to know how the money's going to flow, how expenses are going to be paid out, who's going to be responsible for taxes, what happens if in our team agreement, Tula gets hit by a bus tomorrow, then what happens to the leads, to the business she has ongoing, how many years do we keep doing this where I pay referral to her estate? It's like all this stuff needs to start being talked about. And so it is a significant commitment of time to get those operating agreements drafted properly.
But you said step number one is first talk to your tax professional.
Always talk to your CPA. Because you don't want us giving you tax advice, because that's like hiring me to change the plumbing in your house. That would be a bad idea. Yeah.
Anybody else? Further questions?
Yeah.
This is now stump the attorney on any front, just about,
On any
right?
front.
If you want.
Whatever question you have.
Look, this is a little bit off topic. So, are you? Is it legal in Virginia? Can I have a Virginia license? Can I be licensed in Virginia and reside in another state?
A real estate license?
Yes.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. So there's no proximity requirements. As long as I'm licensed in Virginia, I can live in another state. Okay.
That's correct.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Here's one. Timely came in from somebody, one of our agents. Let me ask this. Let's see, just a minute. Has to do with giving hockey tickets away. I'll take them. That kind of thing. Sarah, we've talked
We
a
have
lot.
a volunteer for them.
Can you fix that for me? Do you know how to do that? My phone is talking to me. Giving incentives, whether they're, we can't give incentives to unlicensed people, right?
Yeah.
So in your advertising, like, work with me and I'll make a contribution to your favorite charity.
So that's different.
That's different than giving them something directly.
Okay, so let's backtrack. What's the prohibition? What's the RESPA prohibition?
Right.
Two prohibitions that you're looking at. A RESPA federal law and a state law. So what's the RESPA prohibition? What does RESPA say?
Nothing of value.
Nothing of value to a settlement service provider, right? For the referral of business, right?
Or
Those are the
nothing
sort
of value
the
to an
three-
unlicensed person either.
That's the state requirement. Okay? So nothing of value for the referral of business, right? So that's RESPA. The state says you may not pay a commission to an unlicensed person,
Like a finder's fee?
like a finder's fee. So if you look at those two statutes together, what it's telling you is that you can't have on your website, refer me your friends, and enter for a gift card. Right? Or refer me your friends, and if they settle with us or they hire us, then get a gift card. Or tell your clients, please, it was a pleasure doing business with you. if you have any friends and you refer them to me and I take them to settlement, then you get a $100 gift card. No nos. All of those are prohibitions. So why is the charity contribution different? Well, Tula represents me in a real estate transaction, right? And Tula decides that part of her marketing is that for every lawyer that she's going to represent, she's going to make as a client, she's going to make a donation to, I don't know, Save the Lawyer Funds, okay? It's a nonprofit. I mean, seriously. Let's say Legal Aid. Let's say Legal Aid, right? She's going to make a donation to Legal Aid. And so how is that different? No, it's not that it's a nonprofit.
Do I get a thing of value?
That's the thing. She does, yeah. I don't get a benefit. I don't get a thing of value out of it. And really, Tula can do whatever she wants with her income, right? What can't happen is that Tula makes the donation to Legal Aid, and I get the tax deduction. That cannot happen because all of a sudden I get a thing of value out of this, right? As long as I don't get a thing of value out of it, it is absolutely fine. So the giving to charity is a nice hook, and you can do it all day long. You just can't give the tax deduction to your client.
But she would get the tax.
But Tula can take the tax deduction. Absolutely.
I made the contribution, so I make the deduction. And I can tell you, I did settlements for 15 years, and there are realtors who will give a list to their client at settlement and says, pick from one of these charities, and I'll make a donation. So even if Sarah selected the charity, it's fine as long as the money goes to the charity and no benefit flows.
Samson Cares? No. Oh, you need the mics.
Oh,
yeah.
sorry.
Sarah Charity.
If anything flows in her direction,
Oh, I
the
have
answer's
so
no.
many comments that are ready to come out, and I'm just gonna bite the inside of my cheeks.
Yes, ma'am.
But you give something to whom?
Susan. I don't even know if I'm
Yeah,
on.
you can't do it. It doesn't matter whether you advertise it or not. The prohibition is
It's
doing
the
it.
giving that's wrong.
Of
happen
course
all
it
the time.
happens all the time. But you know what? So does discrimination in landlord-tenant situations, and it's still illegal. So, you know.
But if you go to lunch and you don't say you're going to lunch, you say, thank you, but I'm going to lunch to catch up.
That's fine, right? I mean, that's fine. You just can't, it's the gift card and enter to win.
And there are exceptions for bona fide marketing opportunities. That's different.
That's a different
It's a different, having a client appreciation party is one thing. Giving an item of value as a thank you for a referral is different.
Who's got a mic?
Follow on to this. So, okay, what about if it's unsolicited? Okay, here's a hypothetical.
This is why I love realtors.
So you get a referral from somebody, right? Out of the blue, you don't ask. That you get a referral, you go to closing, and then after that, that person that gave the referral, you get them a little gift certificate or something like that. Is that in violation of the statute?
Yes.
Well, it wasn't solicited. It wasn't a
doesn't
quid pro quid.
It's the act of making the referral.
So what about a closing gift?
So closing gifts of any kind are illegal or improper.
But closing gifts, you could, if the closing gift is an actual gift, right? It's all great. All this stuff is great. So let me just
Door knocker. Whatever.
If the closing gift is wrapped up and is to be used, you can say that's marketing, and it's gonna. I don't love it because technically that's a violation, but they're not. RESPA. Well, first of all, there's nobody enforcing RESPA right now, so we'd have that conversation.
Cutco
later.
knives and engraved cutting boards are
Yeah.
a great carve-out exception for these because you can say they're marketing. They have your
They're-
logo on
They
them.
have your logo on them. They have something, right? The $100 gift card to go replace, or the $500 gift card to go replace a dishwasher, I'm just going to tell you don't do that, right? But all of this is a gray area. All of it is a gray area. So you can keep throwing patterns at me and at Tula, and our answer is going to be, It's probably not the greatest thing to do.
I was just going to throw another pattern.
Yeah, please. You're gonna get the same answer.
$100 gift certificate to the restaurant in town that is the high,
You can call it whatever you want.
Don't
yeah.
love it.
Yeah. Was there a question here?
Yeah. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you very much. Very great information. I just got an answer from my broker that I said I want to start a corporation as my name, X Realty Group. So as soon as I sign that, I become a corporation. Do I have to register with everybody, or just have that one for the payment and for the arrangement in this company?
So if you do business in Maryland,
Yeah,
that
and
name's
DC.
not going to work because it has the word realty in it. So make sure that the name you select for your business entity, if you do business in Maryland, also works in Maryland, because otherwise you're going to have some issues.
So, but I can do it for DC and Virginia only?
Yeah.
Because, well, DC has not weighed in on it. So if DC comes in with regulations that are similar to Maryland, you may have an issue in the future. For now, you don't have an issue.
Yeah.
So I have to find a name which they will not accept.
Which works in Maryland, yep.
But this is fine in Virginia, right?
That's fine in Virginia, but if